another dev session with GM Phuc. Now, I think today we are on the ice ring patch. So let's go into the ice ring patch real quick and see what is currently there. Alright, so it would seem that Twin Clovers were added, St. Patty's Day, sure has got a bit of a nerf. Alright, so let's see what we have to do today. So let's pull out our handy dandy list here. So, Stormy Knight. So last time, what we did was we buffed the Stormy Knight. Let's pull out our handy dandy I'm streaming list after all. Okay, cool. Okay, let me make this announcement also to everyone else. Okay. So let's say broadcast. I am live on Twitch. Oh, no comma. Okay. And then also I want to make sure that this is inside of Discord. Okay. Join me there. Okay. And then let me also open up Twitch just in case somebody decides they want to talk to me inside of Twitch. So I'll pause the video and I'll say, hey everyone, welcome to the stream. Okay. So, last time, we buffed Stormy Knight, put it up for testing. Now what we're going to do, okay, is we need to evaluate tester feedback for Stormy Knight, then release. Alright, so my testers came back this week and they told me that Stormy Knight is too weak. Okay, now originally I told them that Stormy Knight needs to be stronger than Mistress by about 10%. And at this moment they feel like it's 90 or 80% as strong as Mistress, so it's weaker than Mistress at the current moment. I suspected that much, that it would be a little weaker. Okay, so let's go ahead and fix that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I think I was a little too kind and giving it the int value that it had. So let's go back and pull up the monster database. But before we do that, let's go ahead and see if we can go ahead and find it in the monster database source and then update our database, because I think the other developers they've been hard at work inside of this repository as well. So what I'm gonna do, it's in my D drive in my repositories, and I think it's this repository. Maybe it's Essence. Yeah, there we go. Arthena. Alright, so I'm inside of a repository and I can do a get pull now. And what this will do is it will sync my local copies of my files to the cloud, which is the most up-to-date recent changes. Okay, let me just enter in my GitHub username, and then I'll enter in my password in a separate window because I'm secretive like that. So now what we're gonna do is, wow, look at all the code changes since Monday. Okay, so it looks like there's a lot of been changed to the BG shop, the battlegrounds, the at commands, you know, all mob drops. Everything seems like it's been changed a little bit. Ooh, Twin Clover quest, that's in. Looks like that we've made some fixes to the roulette machine and the token trader. Okay, and then monster spawns, Matsu and Pronter have been updated. And I think this is Fox Ring, if my suggestion is correct. I think Fox Ring is gonna spawn there. Okay, but that's just my assumption. I don't know for sure. Just make sure you read the pre-patch notes. All right. So what I'm gonna do is, once that I'm in here, let's see. I want to CD into, I think, the folder I want is DB, and then there inside of DB there's a folder called pre-renewal. Okay. All right. Now I think I can just open up this in Explorer now. And then from that I can open that up in Windows. And then voila, this is the monster database. And last time we checked, Stormy Knight was the guy we wanted to edit. Okay, and we also want to edit, so Stormy Knight's one. Mistress is another one. So I'm going to grab Mistress and Stormy Knight. And I'm going to grab the headers as well. Okay, so that should be 3 columns that I just grabbed. And just to be sure, yep, 3 columns. And also grab Golden Thief Bug, but we can remove those later. Alright, so let's go ahead. Let's open up our handy dandy Excel machine. And then I'll tabularize it inside of Excel so we can actually take a look at it in a way that makes sense and it doesn't hurt the eyes. Okay, so we're going to spread the columns out by commas. And there we have it, the current stats of the monsters. Now, if we look at this, alright, so Mistress is what we care about. So Mistress is the benchmark, and I want Stormy Knight to be 10% stronger than Mistress. So let's go ahead and make sure that that happens. So Stormy Knight, even though we buffed it last time, it's still a little weak. Okay, so its level should be 108. If it is indeed Mistress is 9. So I think if I just do this, 99 times 1.1, which is 10%, right? It's 9.9, but let's round to the nearest 2 decimal places here, and that should be something that we'll do. Okay, so there we go. Stormy Knight is now a higher level. He's ascended. Oh, I don't want the 2 decimal place rounds. I want to round to the nearest integer, so put that as 0. So he's level 109. His HP is 20 million, which let's see if this is if 20 million is actually 110% of this. So times 1.1. So let's add 33 more K HP. Not that big of a difference in the grand scheme of things. That's like maybe 1/12 of an Ashura. All right, so 0. All right, so now that we've rounded that, its EXP looks fine. Its job EXP looks fine. Its range looks fine. Its attack is fine, I believe. I don't know. So Mistress, for whatever reason, it has a really strong auto attack, and I think it should probably be the same case here. But also, let's while we're here, let's make that also 10% stronger. So basically, what I did was now it's 10% stronger. Yeah. All right. Now what we got to do now is, so its defense. I think its defense is fine, but let's buff that up a little bit more. Its magic defense is fine. It's strong there. Now what we want to do now is its intelligence. So Mistress has 295 intelligence. Stormy Knight will have just as much, but let's go a little further. Let's make it 10% strong. So 325 int. So it's level 25. It's got level 20 lightning bolt. It's gonna hurt a lot. Okay, so we'll keep this in mind. So 325 int should be more than enough. Okay. All right, and I think that's all the changes I wanted to make to Stormy Knight's stats. Okay, so all I gotta do now is copy all of its information. And I gotta basically transpose it, which is basically copy it, but make sure that I'm gonna copy special actually, because I want to do multiple things. I only want to copy the values, not the formulas or the equations, and I want to transpose it, which means I want it to be a vertical thing. Okay. So now that we have that, so notice that the last number I should see is a 1, because this means this is the Stormy Knight card, and it's dropping at a 1 rate, which is the lowest rate on our server. Remember, that also gets multiplied by the drop modifier on our server, which is 50. Okay, so let's go back into Sublime Text, make a new tab, paste it in there, and then with Sublime we'll do a multi-line edit. And what we got here is if we push the N key, we can now start editing everything all at once. So, for example, all right. So what we want to do is we want to add a comma, And then we want to delete the return spaces, so everything is back into being one line, and we want to remove the last comma because we only needed the first one. So let's go back and see if we can find our handy dandy Stormy Knight. Okay, it's actually Night of Windstorm, but whatever. It looks like when I copied it, I left out 3 lines here. So let's go back and do it right now. Alright, so last time I did it slowly. Normally I do it a lot faster because I'm not teaching anybody anything. So, comma, delete, n, remove the comma, home, copy, and then from that, we could paste it back into there. Okay, Stormy Knight is buffed. So cool. We can check that off our list, which is Stormy Knight buffed. Now specifically, stats buffed. Check. Next thing we want to do is skill buffs. Okay, and again, that is a separate database. So mob skill DB is the one that we want. Now, there is something that I didn't want to do, which is I wanted to give it the wide freeze of Ketolanax, because Ketolanax I know has a really strong wide freeze, and I think the default wide freeze for Stormy Knight is something to be desired, so to speak. Alright, so let's go ahead and find Stormy Knight. And then there is a very particular set of skills it has here called wide freeze. So if we paste wide freeze into here, what we got in this situation is we don't want this to summon slave like that, because then they'll get Ketolanax as slaves. Okay, so what we got here is Ketolanax wide freeze. So Ketolanax wide freeze is the same, level 5, level 5. So I might have done that already with wide freeze last time. So I think that would be redundant at this point to say that it has the same level of wide freeze as it did last time. Now, buffing its intelligence by 3 like that, basically it went from 100 int to 300 int. So the storm gust, the ice pillar, the diamond dust, these things are going to start hurting a lot more. And I do apologize for that. I'm normally a nice person, but seeing as how I am a game developer, I need to make sure that whatever we do is fair and fun, okay, for all of you. Now, for whatever reason, I think everything in here is duplicated. So you see that there's shield boomerang here, and then there's also a shield boomerang here. So I think whatever we did got basically duplicated. So let's actually just double check that real quick. So I'm gonna make a new window, and I'm gonna shift it into another window as well. So then I can compare them side by side. So notice that if I go all the way down to where I think things got replicated, it was right there. So shield boomerang. Okay, I'll paste that there, and then from here I can grab the teleport all the way down to the shield boomerang as well. Okay, so something here got replicated, and from that we can hopefully just discern that these two things are going to be the same. Now, I can eyeball it and do it one by one, but there's a handy dandy tool out there called a diff checker, from which I can use. What's wrong with your brains? Okay, alright. Join me on Twitch. Okay. Come join me. Alright, so now what we gotta do. Failing server. What's wrong with this server? Okay, so what we gotta look at now is basically why was Stormy Knight skills duplicated? Now I'm not sure. I don't think this actually is a production change right now. The duplication of the skills themselves, because I think this might have been a test server use case only. So I'm gonna run this through a diff checker just to be sure that the two sides are the same. And I don't think they are the same. Weird. Okay. Well, if they aren't the same, what's different about them? White freeze, white teleport. Interesting. Is it just the line ending? I think it might just be the line endings that are different. So just to be sure, what I'm going to do is make sure that they all have the same line ending by redoing all the line endings on both of them. So for those of you who don't know, have never programmed before, Linux, Mac, and Windows have 3 different line endings, and it causes us developers no end of trouble, okay? Because when you work with a team that uses different operating systems, what happens is these line endings can end up screwing everything up, okay? So it looks like one of these things is different from the other. So let's actually just bring a line into Excel and see what's up. Okay, so let's bring in the left side. Oh, there we go. And now let's bring in the right side. Oh, no, that's not what we wanted. All right, and then I can already tell there's an extra comma in one of these things. But let's just check to make sure where things went truly bad, down to a science. Okay, so basically everything should line up, hopefully. Stormy Knight, teleport, idle. So something got an extra comma, okay? And a good way to tell if something got an extra comma is to basically just count, okay? So basically all I gotta do is copy this line for line, and nope, it looks like everything is the same. Strange. Okay, so I'm gonna assume that these 2 files have been duplicated, and I'll just remove one of them, okay? So I'm gonna remove that part of the file, okay? So hopefully right now, this shouldn't cause too much error. It's just, it wouldn't cause an error at all. It's just, it will create a situation where the database will have to load it twice. And it confuses everyone. Okay, so that is that. So I think that's good the way it is. So I think Stormy Knight's skills are in a place where I want them to be and where I like them to be. Okay, so so Stormy Knight's int has been buffed threefold. It went from 100 to 300. It's got a little bit of an HP increase now as well, and basically now there's this particular skill in here, level 20 lightning bolt, that should hurt a lot more. So basically, the strategy for Stormy Knight is going to try to frost joker you, basically from 2 maps away, and then it's also going to try to diamond dust you. It's also going to try to wide freeze you, okay? It's going to do everything in its power to basically get you in a frozen status. And when you're in the frozen status, it's going to thunderstorm, it's going to lightning bolt, and this is, I think this is either the ice pillar or the lightning pillar for ninjas. So basically, it's going to try to do a wombo combo on you. So the key here is if you have a slotted wind armor with a mark card in it, Stormy Knight shouldn't be a problem, right? But that's the catch-22, because Stormy Knight drops the slotted wind armor, okay? So basically, it's one of those like Final Fantasy bosses that drops the item that you wish you would have had to fight that boss itself, okay? But that was a deliberate design on our part there. So if you don't have, okay, so if you don't have slotted wind armor, what you have to do now is basically the tank has to wear wind armor or water resist or water. But basically, you need both water and wind resist simultaneously. So Valkyrie shield, elemental wings, maybe a jack card, something or not a jack card, Mars card, right? Whatever you can do to reduce that damage, and you have to have a priest that's off screen that is status recovering the tank, because if the tank isn't wearing mark armor because he's wearing status elemental resist, then you have a situation there where you have to work together. Okay, all right, so now what we got to do now, oh wow, what are you guys talking about? All right, I'll let Seer deal with that. The Twitch chat, of course. All right, so what do we got to do now? So the next thing we got to do, so now that Stormy Knight is buffed, let us go ahead and release Stormy Knight. Now, Stormy Knight spawns right now. He already spawns, but he doesn't drop loot. So let's make sure he drops some loot. So I'm going to go back to that MobDB. I'm going to open it up, and I think there is a database called, I think there's a no drop database somewhere in here. I always forget what it's called. Mob drop. Hold on while I look for this. There we go. I think it's called the mob no XP no drop file. Okay, so in here should be Stormy. Okay, so if I comment out that line right there, basically if you're a monster that appears in this list, you don't drop any items. You don't even drop EXP. Okay, so the minute I comment that out, Stormy Knight is now released. Okay, cool. So good, right? He's released now. All right, now that he's passed testing, okay, done. Okay, so now what he's gonna do, he's gonna be released for the heart ring patch, or not for the heart ring, the ice ring patch. Okay, now that all of that is done, we need to update the Abra. Okay, Abra table. And inside of the Abra table, we had a discussion among the staff that maybe summoned monsters shouldn't be in the Abra table. So we are this patch we are also removing summoned MVPs from the Abra table. So that would include Catolanax. And we didn't have Thanatos or Notseeger. Oh, we did have Notseeger in there, so we got to remove the Notseeger, and we got to remove the Wounded Morok. Okay, and then what we got to do is adjust the rates of Stormy. Okay, all right, there we go. So I'm gonna pull up the handy dandy Google Doc that I've built that generates the code that generates the Abra table. Okay, I'm very proud of my spreadsheets. Okay. I like to. There's a player inside of EssenceRO. His name is Carlos. He's an accountant. He shares the same fervor for spreadsheets that I do, and I like to work on the data side of RO, which is basically a bunch of text files that is eventually inserted into the database. Okay. All right. Now what we got to do. All right. So this is the boss table, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the Stormy Knight and see where it's at. Okay, and we notice that, oh, Stormy Knight isn't even on this list. So that's a problem. So I think it might have been on the list, but there's something filtering it out. Okay, so let's remove all the filters and see if Stormy Knight is still in here. Oh. Alright. And then I'm going to arrange this alphabetically because I think I got misarranged. Alright, so Knight, Lord Knight Seeron. Really? We don't have Stormy? Oh, he's called Knight of Windstorm. Okay, that's interesting. Alright. So now what we gotta do is Stormy doesn't seem to have a spawn rate inside of the Abra table. So this is the percentage of the Abra table that we got here. So if we go down here, his level is 109. Okay, and what we got now is if we look at this number right here, that's the number that controls the Abra spawn rate. Okay, so notice there's different tiers of MVPs here, right? So we got tier 16s, which is the most common of MVP. So there's basically Dark Lord, Detail, Doppelganger. Okay, and then we got tier 12s, which is the next level of rarity. So that's Garm. Now, so Mistress is a tier 3 MVP. Okay, so tier 3's MVPs get the 12-point treatment. Tier 12 in the Abra table. Now, what tier 12 means is it's the second most common rarity, right? It's not going to be super common. Okay, all right. So if we go back to Stormy Knight, we got to make Stormy Knight the same rate as a Mistress, basically. So Mistress is a 12, so Stormy, therefore, will also be a 12. So, not Lord Knight here, Knight of Windstorm. Okay, so Knight Windstorm, this will be a 12 as well. So there we go. So Knight of Windstorm is now a 3% in the Abra table, but also remember why we're also here. We're going to remove a few things from the Abra table as well. So, I'm going to actually remove Amon-Ra from the Abra table, and that's because there's a problem with Amon-Ra right now where his mobs don't spawn indefinitely. That's actually a purposeful design decision, which is you have a time limit. You have to race to kill Amon-Ra, and the more you physically attack him, the more mobs he spawns, and eventually his mobs will overtake the map, right? Now that's fine and dandy if it's isolated in the basement of the Morak pyramids. It's a problem if someone aberrs it on a newbie map like Geffen Field 4, for example, and then it gets completely overloaded with 100k HP Arcluses. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm gonna remove Amon-Ra from the Aber table by removing this 4 here. What I'm also gonna do is, okay, so Bascogen's fine, Baphomet's fine, Dark Lord, Detail, Doppelganger, Dracula, Dragon Lord, let's see, Edgar Entwine, he should be removed, which he's not even added. He's also unbuffed, right? So that's good. Fallen Bishop's in there, Garm's in there. You notice that Fallen Bishop is a tier 2, which is the second rarest rarity in the Aber table. So notice that Golden Thief Bug takes the #1 slot here of being the rarest, and he has a 0.26% chance of being spawned right now in the Aber table. Okay, so Incant is in there. Now let's see where, because Kraken's in there, Katolanax should be removed because that's a summon MVP. So now he goes back to a 0%. And then Lucifer should also be removed because Lucifer is a special summon MVP as well. Okay, so we added Knight of the Windstorm, we removed Lucifer, now we remove Notsigger. Notsigger is also a special summon MVP. So that will also raise the percentages of the other MVPs a little bit. So notice that Golden Thief Bug, by me removing those 3 MVPs, the probability of you getting the Golden Thief Bug has raised by 0.01%. Okay. So if we go down here, so Orc here, Orc Lord, these are all fine. Frioni, RSX. Thanatos is also a special case which will never probably be included inside of the Aber table either. Rangres is in here. Werewolf is in here twice for some reason. Whatever, I'll ignore that. Now, Wooden Morak was a mistake to be put in there. That's a bug. It should not be in there. All right, so there we go. Now that we have that situation done, what we can do now is remove the blanks. And now we have our stuff. All the rates needed. All right. So if you see here, I wrote in special code that generates the wiki. I made this for GM Seer so that she can basically just copy and paste this into the wiki as we start adding MVPs. And then there is also the mob class change, okay, which is the Aber table itself. Okay, and we notice that Stormy Knight doesn't have the code in here either, so I'm going to put here and here the code. Okay. And that's right. All right, so Stormy Knight should also be in the Bloody Branch table. So notice that this column will also generate the Bloody Branch code base. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this into the new Aber table. Okay, so basically, let me see if I remember what the Aber table even is. So let me just go back into my database and see if I can open up the mob class change database. So let's go back in here, and it's somewhere in here. There we go, mob class change. All right, this is the Aber table as it is right now. I'm going to go ahead and save my Stormy Knight changes because right now I don't want to basically pollute my Aber changes with my Stormy Knight changes. So I'm going to go inside of my GitHub, okay, and I'm going to be very nice to the other developers. Git add, git commit, and for this change I want to say Stormy Knight buffed and released. Yay. All right, so that will save my Stormy Knight changes. Now I can go ahead and save my class change changes. Okay, and the documentation itself will be isolated to just that. So if I go ahead and paste all of that into here, we have ourselves a handy dandy, yay, right? So that's that. So if I do a get diff right now, I can see what's different, right? So you notice that Werewolf and Osiris were misplaced because they were in the wrong alphabetical order. Dragon, let's see, so a couple of rates got changed, right? So that's kind of cool there, okay? All right, so the red means basically it was removed, and the green means it was added. Okay, so I do git add, git commit, Abra tables updated. Okay, I'll do a git push later. Actually, I'll push everything at the same time. So, all right, so now that that's there, let's make the player base aware of these changes. So I'm going to copy the rates as they are and post them into the patch notes. Okay, so basically for MVPs, they get new Aber rates. All right, so let's go ahead and update. So we'll say that Abra rates. All right, so this will be bold, this will be in black, and then I can paste this table. in there. All right, so now that you guys will have access to this data as well. So you guys would know exactly how rare or not rare something is inside of the Aber table. There is also, I made a separate thread together for hopefully for the newer players, which is called Everything You Need to Know About Abracadabra. Okay? And basically, I've kept a history of all the changes, right? So the bomb ring patch, going into the cow ring patch, going into the deviling patch. So basically, every time I've updated the Aber table, I've also updated this table. So you can always check this. These are live documents, okay? All right, so there we go. So ice, nope, not hard ring, ice ring patch, okay? That is the rate for the ice ring patch. All right, that's done. Now what we can do is also edit the Bloody Branch table. Okay, so notice that some monsters don't spawn in the Bloody Branch table yet. Alright, so Dark Lord should be in the Bloody Branch. So Fallen Bishop is not in the Bloody Branch table. So anything that's a tier 4 or higher will not be in the Bloody Branch table. So notice that Fallen Bishop's a 2, Golden Theobug's a 1, right? So none of those will be included in the Bloody Branch table. But everything else should be. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And so I can close this class change table now. I can close this no exp table now. Now what I do need to open up is the Bloody Branch table, which I don't actually remember what it's called. I think it's called the Mob Boss table or something like that. Let me look for it real quick. Mob Boss. Aha! I'm a genius. All right, there we go. So if I paste everything that needs to be pasted into there, and then I can sort this alphabetically. Aha! All right, there we go. So now I can save this. All right, so git add, git commit, updated, Bloody Branch table. Now, Bloody Branches are only dropped by guild castles. All right, so basically, if you're a guild leader, you should be paying attention to this change right here. All right. So next thing we got to do. I think that's everything I really wanted to do. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure this loads correctly inside of the server itself. Okay, so Kiwi has made me a test server, which is basically a replica of the main server itself. Okay, so basically I got two clients open. So this is the test server, this is the main server. So you notice that there's players in here and there's no players in here. So if I type in who for example, 99 players are on the main server. If I type who here, okay, there shouldn't be anyone in there. So one player, which is me, right? All right. And Seer, Kiwi, or any beta testers, if you're watching this and you want to be in the stream, meet me in Morok. Okay, and don't wear any hat that requires me to update anything like a Twin Clover. I will crash. I have not updated this test server client in quite some time. All right. Well, actually, I think it would be kind of funny to basically just to crash me live on Twitch. All right. So now that we're in the test server, okay, let's test out the new and improved Stormy Knight. So what I gotta do in here is, oh man, it's been a while since I've been in here. So I think I gotta go into trunk, and I think I gotta do ls. All right, cd. All right, this is actually where I think I can just pull now. Get pull. There we go. Hold on while I pull. And what this is gonna do is all the changes that I've made. We'll go ahead and get populated in there. Now, notice that I did a commit here and I did a commit here. That saves it locally for me, but that actually doesn't push it into the cloud. So what I gotta do now is actually, if you actually look at the cloud, it's actually pretty cool. So if there is we have a commit log, so we know exactly who did what, where, and when. So for example, this is Kiwi, this is Technokin, and then this is Vide. Okay, so notice that they've made some changes, and the last change I made was actually a long time ago. Wow, Kiwi's been a busy lady. Look at this. Look at her go. She's like beast mode with the coding here. All right, so we go back. Where was my last change? Holy cow, they've been busy. So there we go. March 8th was my last contribution. So basically 7 days ago. Okay, so notice that none of my changes are reflected in here yet. So now what we got to do is we got to do a git push. So basically all of my local changes will be pushed into the cloud and synced there. Okay, let me enter in my password in a separate window. La 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 la. Ah, all right. So now that my payload has been pushed to the cloud, if I refresh this, I should see 2 Shiba Inus, I think. Hopefully. Really? Come on. You need to update. Oh, I think I'm still... Is this... I think I'm filtering it. There we go. There we go. So, notice that 3 of my changes are now there, and if I click on them, I get to see what I just did. All right, it's always nice to audit your changes. So notice that we went in here, we commented out Stormy Knight. Commented out means soft deletion in programming. So what this did is now we've released Stormy Knight from the mob drop table. So Stormy Knight will drop stuff now after maintenance. Night of Windstorm got a few buffs, so notice that its int went from 134 to 325. Its attack basically quadrupled, right? It does 9k to 15k now. Before it only did 3k to basically 3k. All right, and its HP got a 33k increase. Its level was increased to reflect the change. Okay, and wide freeze. That's interesting. That's something we'll have to look into a little bit. And everything else was basically a duplication and was removed. All right, that's the first change. After we reviewed that, that's cool. The arbor table, this is what changed in the arbor table. We saw that a little bit earlier when I did that git diff. And then we can see that werewolf has been lowered in the rates for bloody branches at least, and windstorm is now added. Dark Lord is also added to the bloody branch table. Okay. So that's all nice and dandy. All right, so what I can do is I also need to update the bloody branch list as well. So if I go back to that handy dandy spreadsheet that I made earlier, okay, and I can filter out the things that are blank here. I also need to let people know that the bloody branch table has changed. Okay. All right, so now that we got that, we can... So these are all the MVPs inside of the bloody branch table. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to package it up nice into a nice little list and post it into the patch notes. Okay? And that's not the patch notes. This is everything you need to know about Abra. Okay, let's go back to the Icering patch notes page. Icering patch notes. And then, let's see what actually people have been saying. What did Shures do to you? Let's see, because we're not a renewal server. Yeah, that sounds about right, Kotaro. Yeah, so what we are afraid of right now is that I think that they were talking about this change right here, where Shures, the attack bonus to Gentle Touch was nerfed, and let me tell you why. It gives 100 attack to champions. Okay, 100 attack is a lot in terms of Ashura. It's a lot in terms of finger offensive. Okay, I don't mind it being for combo monks, because combo monks, even with the buff that we did, it's still a little bit underpowered. But in terms of Ashura strike and finger offensive, it's way too much. And it's way too much because you can buff yourself on a non MVP PvP map and then go into an MVP PvP map and then just wreck everything. Okay, so that's what we didn't want to do. All right, so we toned it down a little bit. Now I did talk about disabling it, but the staff had a small discussion, and we decided that a nerf was better than a removal. Okay. All right. So we go down here, and we gotta say that the bloody branch table branch MVPs are now these guys. All right. There we go. So now that I've put that into the pre-patch notes, everyone knows. Everyone knows. All right, let's go back to the commits to see what else I need to do. So Abra table is updated, Bloody Branch table is updated, Stormy Knight's buffed. All right, I also need to put in here that Stormy Knight is now released. Okay. I'm going to edit this, and I'll say this for MVPs. Let's see here. Stormy Knight is now dropping items and is fully released. Okay, and then let's add some reason why. Stormy Knight has been CrossFit training, and he is sufficiently buffed Okay. He is now dropping items and is fully released. All right, there we go. So, Stormy Knight is released according to the patch notes. And also, I need to color code these patch notes to let them know that. So we have color codes here, right? So green is ready for patch day, and yada yada yada. So basically, I'll make this green, and then normally we sign it off, right? So coded by Phuc, okay. And then this is also coded by Phuc. All right, there we go. And then coded by Phuc. There we go. And all of this can be green. All of this can be green as well. Nope, not the whole document. That would be bad. All right, these guys can be green. All right, there we go. All right, that's that for now. All right, now let's actually go back to what we were doing earlier. So I pushed my changes to the cloud. Now what I gotta do now is I gotta actually go to the test server itself and then enter in my password to do the pull. I think. Oh, my session timed out. So what I gotta do now is I gotta relog back into the server because my last session timed out. So basically, I think that's a security feature that it just logs you out. All right, so there we go. CD trunk get pull, and what this is gonna do is gonna sync the test server changes to the cloud, and the cloud has my changes in it right now. So what I can do now, all right, there we go. Notice that it's downloading all the changes. Uh-oh, okay. Uh-oh, okay. So what it's done here is, okay, so while opening the merge, okay, another file program may be editing the same file. In this case, be careful. Okay, enter to continue. And I'm going to get out of that. All right, so let's just see what happened here. Nothing has happened yet. So notice that we pulled the changes into the test server. Let's do a get diff real quick to see what has changed. So it looks like Foxring has been included. Okay, which is strange. Now we should have the Foxring already inside of the MobDB unless something terribly wrong has occurred, which might be the case, but whatever. Let's actually open up our own MobDB on our local file and see if the Foxring is in there, because basically what's happening right now is the test server has some changes that aren't saved and propagated to the cloud. Okay, so Foxring is 3740. Foxring's in here, so sure. Okay, what I'll do is I'll stash these changes away so that the test server is actually fully synced with the main cloud repository. Basically, I'm discarding whatever Foxring changes was on the test server because I'm trusting that whatever is locally on Sierra's computer is more up to date than the test server is. The test server is a place where we developers we mess around. Okay, so if we do get diff now, there shouldn't be any difference. All right, now what we gotta do, we go back here. Heart ring, snow bunny. Now where is that? Lucky ring. Oh wow, when are we getting that, Seer? I'm looking forward to that. Now, what's really weird is I don't have the garden keeper. Okay, I don't know if. So notice in here, there's mention of a garden keeper, but we don't have that garden keeper in the other one. So I don't know what's up here. So I'm gonna let Seer know that these two things. Oh, that's not good. All right, basically what I just did is I just copied and pasted into the bash console. But let me just tell Seer, okay? Hey Seer or Kiwi, I think I might have overwritten your changes in the test server regarding the garden keepers and the lucky ring and what else did I mess up in here? I probably also messed up the fox ring. Can you check the local repository to make sure that your changes are in there? these guys. Okay. All right. I was be sure to let Seer know. Okay. I think it was Seer that's working on that. I'm not actually fully sure there. All right. Next thing I got to do is now that that is inside of the server, so the changes are in there. What I got to do now is if I do RO stop, okay, this will shut down the server. Ah, it says I'm logging out now. There we go. All right. Now what I got to do now is if I do RO start, this will actually start the server. And it's going to take all the new data that we've compiled and it's going to push it into the test server. All right. All right, then I think aha, all right. So now what I can do is I can load into the test server again. All right. So now the test server basically has all of the patches into it, whether that's good or bad. And what I got to do now is I got to basically go in and read this stuff, okay? It's going to be the matrix for a little bit now. Let me just catch up on the Twitch and see what's going on now. All right. Wow, a lot of things has been said. All right. I'll read this later. I think either Seer or Kiwi are chatting with them anyways. Okay. Oh yeah, and hey, if you want a test account, just apply to be a beta tester. We always need testers. Okay. So what we got now is I'm inside of the server. I just reloaded the server with the patch, and now what I gotta do is I gotta go through this and read it. Okay. Now I can read all of it, or I can read the stuff that I care about, which is the mobs. All right. So if I go into the test server and I run my GM command called @reload mobdb, what that's going to do is going to reload basically all the files that I just affected. So notice that the pet DB, the Munkless DB, all of these things just got reread. And what I care about are the things that I changed. Okay, so we go here, could not process the contents of mob skill DB. Okay, so 6156. Okay, so if I actually open that file right now and look at that line, let's see what's actually going on in there. All right, so if I look at let me open up the mob skill DB real quick in another window and then drag it in. All right, the mob skill DB is in a folder called pre-re. If I look at mob skill DB itself, okay, it says line 6156. So I gotta go to line 6156. Oh, the miming, this thing has given me a massive amount of headaches in the past. So this mob basically doesn't exist right now, or it's misnumericalized. So what I gotta do is I gotta save it. Okay, so basically I'm just gonna comment this out. I'm gonna save it. Okay, and basically hopefully that will take care of it. So basically through line 6169 is saying it's bad, right? So 6156 to 6169. I'm just gonna remove all that. Okay, so removing basically I'm just gonna comment it out. Okay. Next thing is insufficient columns. Oh, insufficient columns in line 1, 2, 3, 3, which means I'm probably missing a comma. 1, 2, 3, 3. Stormy Knight. And that would explain this guy right here, like I saw earlier. Remember, I was looking at the commits. I'm like, oh, we should look at that later. That's weird. Okay. Guild loaded Kiwi's Peanuts. Okay, I don't know who made that guild. All right. So that's good. We loaded in with minimum errors, and I think everything is fine. Okay. So now that that's done, I can go ahead and say I fixed some console errors. All right. So git diff just to see what my changes were. So Stormy Knight, wide freeze was fixed. I don't know why it was missing the last comma there. And then the mimings I've removed. All right. So I can do a git add git commit fixed monster console errors, and then git push all at the same time. So there's 50 inserts, 15 deletions. All right. Next thing I gotta do is enter my password, and all right. So looks like my changes are ready for patch day, which might be today, it might be tomorrow, I'm not sure. Okay, so let's go back and say, all right. Now what we gotta do is, if we look at mob info of Stormy Knight, okay, so we should see that it has 325 int. All right, so if I do monster of 12551, ow, ow. Okay, it hurts a lot more now. Okay, and specifically, let's beef up my stats a little bit. So I do all stats 999. So I'm a beefcake now too. So wow, I have this many stats, so I have 1,000 stats, and he still one-shotted me with Lightning Bolt. Now, keep in mind, I'm not wearing any armor, so if you fight Stormy Knight without water armor, water resistance, or fire, or lightning resistance and lightning armor, it's gonna be a bad day for you. You're gonna get one shot, and that's totally by design, by the way. So let's do item, wind armor. I think I can just do a Dokkaebi card. So item, Dokkaebi. How do I spell Dokkaebi? Alright, let's go to rate my server, because I don't play this game enough to actually know what they renamed the wind armor to be. Is it Typhoon? Alright, Spekkabi's Typhoon armor. It's actually called something different on our server. So if I do the 2348 here, okay, so mob info. There's a GM called Olala on here. Alright, so monster, so item info, or not item, item 2348. There we go. So we call it the Wind Spirit armor on our server. Huh. I haven't updated yet, so I don't actually have the correct Fox Ring sprite, but Seer drew the Fox Ring earlier, and if actually you want to see how she drew it, you can go ahead and look at it on our YouTube page. I think I can do youtube.com/EssenceRO. Okay. And we can see that if we go into the videos itself, I think this is the wrong EssenceRO. Let me just go to the actual EssenceRO itself. Oh, maybe it is the right one. Alright, so we can do my Creator Studio. Okay, so we can see here that Seer posted a video earlier about, basically, it's a time lapse of her going ahead and doing Fox Rings. She basically toiled for like 6 to 8 hours and compressed it and recorded it and then compressed it down. Oh, that is really loud. All right, and compressed it down basically to just 20 minutes. All right, so you can see that she's in Photoshop right now and actually just drawing out this Fox Ring. Like, she is super talented. Okay, bless her heart. All right. Yeah, you can totally check out that video. It's really cool. See how much actually work it takes into spreading all the frames. Okay. Oh, I died again. All right. I'm not sure how I died. All right. If I do alive and I wear this wind armor, I don't meet the requirements of the wind armor. All right. Let's just do. I think it's because I'm not the right level. Or nope. I think it's because I'm in the wrong class. So I can do job Lord Knight. Aha, I'm a Lord Knight now. And now, okay, I'm a Lord Knight. I'm wearing wind armor, so hopefully I should be more equipped to survive. So monster of Stormy Knight should make me last a little bit longer now. So wham, 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 wham. Come on, lightning bolt me. You know you want to. Ow, ow. Ooh. You see, it's not even affecting me at all. So notice that if you have wind armor, it's easy. If you don't have wind armor, you're going to have a bad time. Okay, so you basically want to wear wind armor and fight Stormy. But remember that if you're wearing wind armor, you don't have Mark card. You're not immune to frozen. So what you got to do is you got to have a pre-status recovering you. Okay? All right? And that's also true if you are a steel body monk. All right. So I think Stormy is almost ready. There is one thing I still wanted to do, which is if you actually look at his mobs. So I'm inside of Call Slave right now. So Call Slave will actually summon his monster minions. So he can Call Slave when he's on attack or he's idle. But let me just see real quick what that's doing. So always summon Slave. Now, Summon Slave is actually what I want. Alright, so he's summoning 1606, and I think that's the Goblin. I'm gonna buff his mob a little bit, right? And I do apologize because the mobs are already really strong. They're really annoying already, but I feel they could be stronger. Okay. And anyways, I can always nerf these guys later. Okay, if they're too strong. This is the wrong mob DB. Actually, I'm inside of. Let me just open up the correct mob DB. So there's a bunch of mob databases actually to keep track of, right? And maybe one day, one of these streams, I'll explain the difference between all the different mob databases. So basically, this is the Christmas Goblin. And if I go in the handy dandy spreadsheet and paste it, okay, I will need to change its int a little bit. I need to add 20 int to the goblins. So right now it has 100 int. Ooh, actually that's a really low int. I'll give it 140 int. But basically, the goblins should be spamming level 4 Cobalt and level 4 Lightning Bolt on you, like insistently, like absolutely. Okay, so basically, I need to find this 100 after the 60 and change it to a 140 inside of the mob DB. Okay, so if I go in here, there is the 60. Oh, there's the 60 and there's the 100. So if I change this to a 140, that does exactly what I want it to do. Another thing I wanted to do was to also increase the number of slaves it spawned. Okay, so right now it's saying that, um, actually, what is it saying? It's saying it's gonna get a slave, summon slave on spawn. Okay, so why is it not doing that? I think it's because it's badly written right now. So let's do another monster and see how it compares. So, that actually is correct. All right. So I think I can go back to the previous. Okay, and actually let's just open it up. So basically, and I think this is Garm Baby right here. All right. So if I open up this, make a new spreadsheet, and I also want to copy one more line in here, which is actually the column headers themselves. So that way, when I export this, anyway, we can see what's going on. Okay, so the condition is 3, skill level 6, skill level 2. So basically, it's going to spawn 2 Garm Babies and 6 of these Hobgoblin things. Let's just be sure. Monster 1215. Why doesn't it summon any of these little goblin things? Ow, ow, ow. Come on. Alright, so Garm Baby's working. Okay. But the little goblins aren't working, and I wonder why. And I think one of these conditions is wrong. So let's look at Rangris's one real quick. Rangris summon slave. There we go. So this should shed some light into why it's not working the way it should be. Okay, so cast delay, cast time, skill level. Okay, is the skill level too large? Self slave level on spawn. No, 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 no. Cast time. Actually, let's give it a cast time. Actually, it already has a cast time, so I think we're good on that. Is the level a problem? Is that the reason why? It might be. The condition value. All right, so actually, let's read the documentation and see what it actually says. So the condition, target, condition, status. None of this helps us. That's hilarious. All right. So slave level, when number of slaves is less or equal to the number of original specified. I see. So basically, what that number means is when the number of slaves is less than, in our case, 6, summon it. But that means that it should just summon it right away because it has 0, so it should summon it. So what's the deal, Stormy? Why don't you spawn mobs? And where did you go? Let's do a live speed of 0 so I can just start zipping around the map. Alright. Aha! Its goblins are there! Alright. Now there's 6 goblins. Now, I could be evil and give it more goblins, which is what I wanted to do to begin with. So if I look at the mob DB itself, the mob skill DB is what I actually wanted. So the mobs are 1607. Okay. And what I wanted was, I wanted it to spawn even more. So it's a 6 right now. But hypothetically speaking, what if it was a 9? Okay, so basically I want 9 of these hobgoblins to be bolting you. With lightning bolt and cold bolt with 140 int. Okay, because I am a generous individual. Okay, buffed Stormy Goblins. Okay, that changes there now. Alright, so what else do I want to do? So there are some items that are stuck on people's inventories. Okay, so let's edit the item restrictions table now. So basically, a couple items have been requested because they're stuck on people's inventories. Dragon's Mane is one of them. So let's go ahead and check that out. So item info of Dragon's Mane. So 6073. So if I do 6073 and I search for it, I also probably want to search with a comma in there and turn regular expression off. All right, let's do this search again. So that's the item DB, that's Dragon's Mane, Dragon's Mane. Aha, the item trade. Okay, so that means it can't be traded. So I think that's actually what we want to be inside of. Let's look at that. But let's look at what else is, where else it's affected right now. So um, if you're inside of this database, I think it means you can't drop it. What does 100 mean? All right, so 100 is an additive of, I suspect it can't be storage, can't be. All right, so that means that it's 100, so it's a sum of 64 plus 32, so we got 96 and 4. All right, that's weird though. All right, Dragon's Mane. All right, let's remove Dragon's Mane from the drop table. What else was in here? If I open up in 2 files, I don't need to do that. All right, there we go. So what can I do? So remove restrictions from Syphilid Manto. I agree with that. Okay, so let's remove the Syphilid Manto. And then, let me just change this here so it's a little bit more clear. There we go. And then, Angel Scarf. I think there's only one person in existence that can wear this thing. Okay. I'm going to keep that the way it is, okay? Alright, and the Majestic Goat, Giant Majestic Goat. Let's make that, remove the item restrictions on that as well. Okay, and then the yellow bandana. Aha, there we go. Why is the Sakat in here? That's weird. Why is the bunny band in the Grand Circular? I don't know. There's some of these. I need to completely overhaul this table. I don't know how half the stuff is in this table. So basically what I need to do is I need to build a script in another session to basically scan through all the monster drops. And then if you're an item that drops or that's just dropped from a monster, you should not be in this list. Okay, and hopefully that will just solve everyone's problems. But for now, I'll remove those 3 items just so some people can breathe a little bit easier. So git add, git commit, edited item restrictions. All right, let's put this into the patch notes, and then let's call it a day. Okay. All right. First things first. Let's go ahead and check the git commit logs. Aha, edited the item restrictions. There we go. So, Syphilid Manto was changed. So I'm gonna put that into the patch notes actually. Alright, and then let's see, yellow bandana item restrictions are also lifted. Interesting. I don't need this anymore. I don't need this anymore. I don't need that anymore. I don't need this whole window anymore. Alright, there we go. And then Giant Majestic Goat is now also removed. Alright, and Dragon's Mane is also removed. Okay. So now what I can do is if I search for all of that and I do a simple removal here. What I can then do is say for these items, oh, item restrictions lifted. Okay, there we go. So I can go back to the Icering patch notes. I can edit, and then I can paste. Okay, I forgot to also do coded by Phuc. Okay, there we go. And now what I can do is under items, I can just paste those guys in there. Okay, stupid bullet points. Alright. I hate these forms so much sometimes. Alright, there we go. Paste, bullet, there we go. And then what I can do is, let's make this green. Alright, boom. Alright, I think that's it for today's patch notes. I hope you guys enjoyed this session. Let me give you a preview of the next session. The next session, we unleash the tentacles. Cthulhu is on my radar for the next one. So actually, let's take a look at Cthulhu in general overall. So Cthulhu would be in a very special mob database, a different mob database than the one we've been looking at. Okay. Now, if I look at Cthulhu, okay, I think Cthulhu, I think the sprite's not linked up correctly right now. So let's at least take care of that so we can actually just maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, look at Cthulhu. So if I warped to Old Payan right now, I would actually crash because I haven't patched this test server client in a while. So let's look at monster 2951. All right. I'm assuming that the sprite isn't lined up, so what's going to happen is I think Cthulhu's going to spawn as the default sprite. The default sprite is, I think, a dark flame or something. Yeah, it's one of these flame skull things. So, alright, let's fix that. And is he even buffed? Nope. He's got 27 million HP. I guess he's kind of buffed. Alright. Alright, what else do we got here? Where are we going today? Let's go and I think Seer told me how to fix this earlier. Okay, so what I gotta do is change Cthulhu to a mob ID of 3756. Okay, and that will line up with the correct sprite ID. So get add, get commit, changed Cthulhu sprite to 3756. Alright. And if I do a get push here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this change and I'm going to propagate it into the cloud. Okay. Alright. Now that I'm in the cloud, this is my test server. I can do a get pull while I'm inside of the test server. Okay. And I think it's still pulling. Alright. There we have it. Let's do a get diff and see what's changed. Nothing is. So now that we're synced up with the cloud, I think everything should be okay. But let's just double check on the commit history. Alright. Now what we gotta do is we gotta reload the monster DB. Reload mob DB. Reload script. Alright, there we go. And now what we can do is do a monster of 2195. Alright, which is, oh, the wrong monster again. Once again, it's now 3756. Oh, right, this is a different mob DB. So what I'm doing here is not affecting the cloud in terms of the test server at all. I need to actually open up a new client called FileZilla. Hold on just a second while I connect to the test server and then make the update real quick, hopefully. Oh, that's not good. Hold on just a second. I forgot my test server credentials. All right. Interesting. Let me double check this real quick. There we go. I'm going to connect to the EssenceRO test server using a client called FileZilla. And what that's going to do is it's going to hopefully allow me to make some changes. Now, sadly, I can't actually stream this portion of it because it's showing some things that I really don't want you guys to see, but it's okay. I can walk you through it. All right, I got a nice, pretty voice, hopefully. All right, and we can actually just stream Twitch while watching Twitch while we do this. All right, so there is a special mob database that I'm about to change that Cthulhu resides in, and it's exclusive at the moment to just Cthulhu. Okay, and what I can do now is if I make the changes, the big hope is it will also change in the main server. So hold on while I make the stars align here and do basically surgical surgery. That was redundant, but yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. All right, so there we go. I'm about to merge the Cthulhu changes into the main server by hand. All right, that's done. Now that that's done, what I can do now is I can go back into my test server. And if I do a reload mobdb now, right, and then reload script, and then there we go. Now if I look at this, hopefully, ooh, there's a lot of errors here, so it looks like BGTD is not ready for release just yet. Okay. So what we can do now is if we look up the monster ID of Mr. Cthulhu here. Aw. Oh, anyways, I wanted that to be ready, but I guess it's not. So we're gonna finish this next time. We're gonna make Cthulhu a thing in the future. Oh, actually, it can still be a thing because I think I was dumb and I did the wrong mob database. So let me just pull in the right mob database real quick. Aha! I think I was correct in this matter. Alright. So what we can do now is if I do a reload mob database and do a mob info of 3756. Aha! Cthulhu! Alright, there we go. Cthulhu. You are back! Welcome! I've missed you. I have not seen you since 2004. Release the Kraken! Alright. Cthulhu is back, baby. Hashtag identical lives matter. Okay. So, join me next time where we will actually buff the living hell out of this Cthulhu thing. Stormy Knight is a tier 3 MVP. Just to give you some context, tier 3 MVP is Mistress as well. Just so you guys know, Cthulhu is a tier 5 MVP. Okay, and this thing is gonna be absolutely nuts. I don't know if you've ever been Earth Strained before, but my dream and hope is that if you're an MVP party and you're not wearing Earth armor and he Earth Strains, the entire map is basically gonna get wiped. If you thought Earthquake was bad, if you thought Hell's Judgment was bad, wait till you see Cthulhu and his Earth Strain. It's gonna be the greatest thing you've ever seen. And on top of that, imagine Drake's water ball being on top of that, like while being Earth Strain, while getting hit by level 70 Heaven's Drive. Like all of this is gonna be happening, and it's gonna be monstrous. You're gonna need like 6 people to kill this thing, but it's worth it, right? He drops enhanced shackles, right? So join me next time where we will go ahead and do that. We will channel our inner sadism, and we will make Cthulhu something to be feared. All right, my name is GM Phuc, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me just spend some after hours with with the Twitch chat and see what's been going on in there. Okay. Oh man, what have you guys been talking about? All right, I think I'm gonna end the stream now, but I'm gonna still be talking up in the Twitch chat just to see what's up, and I'm gonna also upload this video to YouTube. Kiwi's gonna upload this to Facebook and Twitch as well. All right, so I'll see you guys next time.